Hi, and welcome. This is the week 2 tips and strategies for our second week of the reboot, which we've already started, but want to go ahead and kind of look ahead over the next 7 to 8 days. So first, move these things out of the way. So hopefully, I don't know if I'm moving your view of my face as well or not, but hopefully you can see everything. So common challenges in this week, the second week: feeling tired, bloated, feeling like your pants are fitting more tightly instead of less, continued crankiness, impatience, or frustration because of this continued sense of deprivation where you're choosing not to eat something. Being in an in-between place, the liminal spot of the Whole30, where you maybe have gotten through most of the crankiness, impatience, bloating, but you haven't yet gotten to more energy, feeling better in your body, feeling like your pants fit even better. And so it's like, why am I doing this anyways? What's the point of the work that I'm doing? And then cravings. Cravings, again, that sense of wanting a reward, whether it's because of the sense of the work you're doing for this way of eating, or just the old habit of it's that time of the day, I'm ready for my cookie now. They can you can get to a place of just give me the darn cheese, that moment. And so that's a common challenge for folks at this point in time. And then in terms of strategies for interacting with those challenges, I think it's very important to focus on our baseline and on self-regulation physically. So bringing it back to hydration, sleep, movement. Again, when I get 4 hours of sleep and I wake up to a grumpy husband and a grumpy son, and I step into the kitchen to make breakfast, if I haven't slept well and I haven't had a chance to meditate or exercise and I'm not hydrated, the chances that I might say, to heck with it, I'm just going to have a piece of toast right now, are much higher. And so how can we kind of begin to notice if we're feeling really grumpy and we're feeling impatient, how can we bring it back to, have I slept? Have I had a shower? Have I had enough water? Have I had good food? Have I gotten outside and moved my body? Have I spoken to someone I loved in a positive interaction, right? Because these are the things that can help us just to go from a dysregulated physiology in our body to regulated physiology, which then makes everything easier. If I'm rested, hydrated, fed, feeling good, it's so much easier to make the choices I want to make. So that, and then from there, rethinking how we imagine or connotate cravings. So we often, I think as a culture, think of cravings as, oh, I'm just really craving chocolate, I need the chocolate. Or cravings as something that comes over you like a wave and kind of is very hard to fight against. The Hartwigs, who created the Whole30 program, have a very interesting take on cravings. They see cravings as not about food at all, but about stress, about comfort, about connection, about belonging. I mean, going back to one of our participants' comments at the beginning of this call about politeness and how to relate to each other, at work even. And so in terms of the Whole30 founders, they really emphasize, if you have cravings, don't focus on food, focus on stress management. Focus on how can you help yourself to feel grounded and okay. What are the choices that you should be making to help yourself feel that way? And so that would look like, if you have a very strong craving, having a glass of water, going outside, running or walking, meditating, doing something that is actually helping you to dispel stress or address whatever emotion might be behind the craving. And then context. So, well, I guess I have a little thing here too about, it's helpful just proactively to be making sure you manage your stress, even if you're not feeling stressed out right now, by being consistent with getting enough sleep, being mindful, exercising, journaling to really process what's going on for you, and connecting to loved ones. And then context and inspiration. So how can you contextualize your experience so that you can see how it's normal, right? By looking at the Whole30 timeline, which I'm going to share in a minute, and by being inspired, going to the Whole30 website and reading some of the stories of past participants and how their Whole30 went for them, or reaching out to people who did a Whole30 and asking them what their experience was like. I think as human beings, monkey see, monkey do. Like there's a certain aspect to our psychology that when we see other people doing something and figuring it out and doing it well, it becomes more possible in our own minds that we can do this, and that it might go well and we can figure it out. So yeah. And then the timeline itself, I wanted to share this. This is actually copy pasted from the Whole30 website, because I think that if you skim it and you look at the emotions of the 30 days, it's really interesting. The founders wrote this. So day one, what's the big deal? And then you shift to the hangover and then kill all the things. And then I just want to nap. And then for the love of Gosling, my pants are tighter. And right now, day 11, you know, the hard days, boundless energy, tiger blood. I'm so over this. It's, you know, 28's the same as 30, right? And then I love this. Holy Oprah, it's almost over. What am I going to eat now? I think that if we look at this and just think about the emotions of, you know, this isn't a big deal, to feeling badly, feeling angry and impatient, frustration, excitement, energy, being done with it, being impatient for it to be over, ready to eat whatever we want to eat. These are emotions that I would say most everyone who does a Whole30 feels at some point in time. And so it isn't about hitting a place of challenge and that meaning that this isn't going to work. That's just part of the process. And so this is where we can get really creative and talking to each other. Reach out to me, let me know, you know, if you hit a place where you're struggling, but also stay inspired. So the Whole30 books that are published are actually really great resources. The book, It Starts With Food, digs into the science behind why the Whole30 is a good idea, health-wise, for the body and for the mind. The Whole30 website, as I mentioned earlier, has stories from people who've done the Whole30 and share what their experience is like. And a lot of them are very inspiring. The Whole30 Instagram feed and Pinterest boards have pretty pictures and ideas if you like social media and that's kind of something you would want to dig into. Otherwise, there are podcasts that focus on health, whole foods eating. Melissa Hartwig Urban, I think she just got married, remarried, has a podcast. And that could be a great resource, just to be hearing people talking about food, relationship to food, whole foods, healthy eating. It can be very inspiring, and that can really help in the midst of kind of continuing on in these 30 days. And then our daily messages. And lastly, if you hit a point where you're feeling really challenged, schedule an appointment with me. If there's any financial stress around that, it can be free. But we want to support you forward into brainstorming around challenges and coming up with solutions so this can feel possible. And that is it.